Become aware of your breath and just sink into this space, into the here and now. Feel the sisters beside you, one to the left and one to the right. Just feel how the earth is holding you, guiding you, supporting you. Now you look up to the sky, this infinite place of possibilities. The sky is serene. Sothis lives. She shines a peaceful flame. Unis lives eternally as the son of Sothis, as the child of Isis, as a child of light. And as Earth is a child of the cosmos, Unis is pure, she is pure. As are the gods who ever lived since the beginning of time in the worlds above and the worlds below. They've been born the imperishable stars, living within the Meshitu, which shall never die. This is the pyramid text, utterance 302. So just allow that to sink in as you connect with this Halakha rising of Sirius. Usually occurred with the solstice, and just signifying that inundation of the Nile, the flood of the Nile, where the lands became fertile. And this is what we are anticipating now. Also, as we move into the summer months, is that fullness, that flooding of energy and light, and just expansion of our awareness and of ourselves, and a full expression of ourselves. We can be more outwardly expressive. And just holding that, more of that raw frequencies as well. So just feel what you want to birth in for this, and welcome in for your intention for this new moon. We're going to talk a lot about the various things that you can let go of in stepping into your power. And then also what you want to honor and celebrate for the solstice. Okay, so just let that all sink in and integrate, and then you can just slowly become aware of your breath and stretch a little bit. Just want to make sure that I can see you guys. Everything's good. Okay, yes. And then I'm gonna go and just continue with the slides. Oops, let's see why this is not. Okay, so what I'm gonna be talking today about is how to be skillful in owning your Sopdet power, your Crone power, to be the sage. So, oops, let me just see, why is it not away? Yeah. So the Feast of Hathor and a Sothic summer solstice. So what we're going to be is just to enjoy this process. It's a gift. Any transformational awakening process is a gift. So it's always good, even though we can experience growing pains, it's good to experience it as a gift. Envision the future potential. And also going to be talking about collapsing expectations, you know, how we set ourselves up for failure, and take away our own power when we have these high expectations. And then saying goodbye to what no longer serves. We all know that's a very good one to kind of hold when we in a new moon frequency. And then honoring the change, whatever change that be, regardless of how challenging, but it's honoring that change. And then the strength in standing in your own being true to yourself and your own fortitude. So this is a photo we took again with sunrise at Hatshepsut's temple, which is carved out there in the Valley of the Kings and Queens. And Hatshepsut is also was a pharaoh, and she is very well a person that or energy to attune to, that's standing in your power. So what I want to express here is to align your core energy with what you want to birth this season. So this summer season, the rest of the year, celebrating the feast of Rayet, Paket, the feast of Hathor and Sothis, by owning your Sopdet Power. So this is the skillful, wise woman and man's power to unlock that crone and warlock power skills by owning a sense of renewal and new beginnings. And we're going to avoid judging as we figure out the bigger picture, judging ourselves and others. So during this potent Gemini new moon, it's all to be present with timing, and time is moving very fast. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's so many things happening, timelines, mixing, so many things happening so fast, and everyone is at a different process with that. So it's just holding space and patience with everyone and where they're at. So the summer solstice, it's all about celebrating our spirits coming out of hibernation, allowing more light, power, wisdom, and feeling awakened as we first lay eyes on Sirius, the dark star. And these are just pictures again. So this is at Karnak Temple. This is this sun alignment happens twice a year, and on the summer and winter solstice. So and then the Holy of the Holies lit up. And this is the Holy of the Holies lit up with sunrise at Hatshepsut's temple as well. So all these temples were built with these significant dates in mind and sun alignments. And so this is the invitation to align with the sky and the stars, as above, so below, and the sun in your soul, on your soul's path, and enjoy these sacred moments on a pilgrimage. Whether it's a pilgrimage that you create for yourself in just a sacred way of being, and the ceremonies and rituals and spiritual practices you do at home, or whether you go on a soul journey of your own to a sacred site. So Sirius is Sopdet. So I have this blog on my website as well. I can put later the links in the chat. And it will also be in the mail that I send out, and you can read more about that. But, this was just some food for thought. Bathe in the brightness of Sothis, the shining light, this bright blue light. Why do we even explore consciousness, seek our spiritual awakening, or surrendering into our soul deep dives? Because we are all multidimensional beings connected with the cosmos. And this is something I really love about the ancient Egyptian mysteries, is you really feel that multidimensional element and the cosmic element in everything that's in the hieroglyphs and the history. And it's just beautiful and very playful as well to explore these themes. We look up at the night sky and see Sopdet or Orion's belt, Arcturus, etc., and we remember. So we remember why we are here, why we're here in this lifetime, and that's what these sacred places allow us to do. So again, as above, so below. And I call this pilgrimage medicine because it is medicine for the soul. So here is Hathor and Sothis Sopdet. So so really it's like to birth new creativity with Sothic rises. So here she's also conflated as Isis and god Anubis. So sometimes I know it can be confusing with Egyptian mythology, because some gods and goddesses can be many different gods and goddesses, so they sometimes group them all together. Hathor is also goddess of the sky, so you'll find that a lot, that the winged ones and sky goddesses in certain, depending on what kingdom. So in the Middle Kingdom, you know, she was held up by Nut, the sky, and with Hathor. So she's also known as the sharp one, the bright shining star, or the triangle, and also that constellation, the 3 stars, the personification of Orion's constellation, which the pyramids is also built in alignment with Orion's belt. So flow with this Hathorian creative energy towards an unknown outcome that will serve your highest good and the good for all. This is always what we need to be striving for and moving towards. So now the age of the goddess. So, you know, all these themes, and I know many of you that's done goddess work relate to all the different aspects, the mother, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And we all can attune to these frequencies regardless of your age. We can access the maiden, we can access the mother, we can access the crone. So really this invitation is to access the crone, that sage energy, the wise woman, the wise man, and also to seek out elders in our community. You know, this was something that was just when we went with the powwow, and when you see traditional tribes still honoring the elders, and how the elders serves the tribe and serves their community with their wisdom, and how they revered and honored. And a lot of that's been lost in today's traditions. So I would encourage you to seek out an elder that can tell you stories, and honor your ancestors and your lineage, and also share your stories and be a sage to your people in your community, and also treat all the people with respect. You know, that's something that's really been lost. I'm trying to cultivate this in my children as well. You know, in other traditions, we don't even call all the people on their names. You know, in South Africa, we have a specific way that we addressed all the people, and it's the same for everyone. It's not, we don't call them by their names. So now I want to bring this concept. When I was teaching on Kefra, which is the dung beetle god, it's also a protective god. It basically helps the sun through the underworld, through the dark night sky, to be birthed the next day by Nut, which is the sky goddess, into being again. And it has this 12-hour death journey. You know, in shamanic practices, we talk a lot about the death journey. It's really facing our shadows. It's like going through this process, this alchemical process of rebirthing. And this is a spiritual process. So, and we can like attune to these energies to protect us, you know, these of the dung beetle. And that's what I also love about ancient Egyptian mythology, is each god, goddess has a animal totem, if you like, assigned to it. And, you know, and it's just beautiful to have that visual and to be able to see what you can attune to in that. So now, so this was coming through to share with you the 12 ways we give our power away. So this is, this photo is from the Valley of the Kings, and it just depicts this process of the sun, that it goes into the underworld and gets rebirthed. So the ways we give our power away. So this was coming through to share with you, and it's how we rely on others to save, pacify, regulate, soothe, or heal us. That's a way that we give our power away, and we can take ownership of that, because when we rely on ourselves to save ourselves, regulate ourselves, soothe ourselves, heal ourselves, that's how we reclaim our power back. And then also when we're not speaking our truth, how we feel or what we need, our desires. That's another way we give it away. And we can claim it back by starting to speak our truth. I know we do a lot of throat chakra activations, practicing to speak your truth, when we're in ceremony. And then not being clear on our boundaries with ourselves first. So this is doing boundary work. I've been doing a lot of boundary work and still need a lot of work on it. But it's always, I find, when I'm not clear on my boundaries with myself first. What's okay, what's not okay, what am I willing to do, not willing to do. And then owning the power of no and really practicing that. So I want you to, as I read these things, feel into how it resonates and lands for you. So the ways we give our power away, I'm just continuing with these 12 ways. It's almost like you, at each point, you at that hour mark and facing this element in your life, if it applies to you. So going against your intuition and inner voice. So there's when I do the meditation, I will do this, the red light, green light concept in meditation. It's if you're having a hard time discerning what is right or what is good for you in that moment, is to feel into your solar plexus to see if this, that's probably British Airways leaving the island right now, going against your intuition and, if this is in alignment with you or not. So this is a tool that needs to be practiced. It's a muscle that needs to be practiced, because sometimes, depending on what kind of trauma we've experienced, this can be so numbed down and watered down that we don't even know what to trust anymore. We don't even know what is right anymore, and right for us. So it's really like recultivating and claiming that power back so that we can trust our own intuition. And then not standing in our truth and highest alignment as a continuum, the bigger picture. It's really like really looking, what is my values? Where am I going? What is my soul's path? And this can change at any point. This can change over time, and then other people, relationships, things may fall away in your life. And that's a way that we also reclaiming our power back. And then convincing ourselves that being abused, used, or not treated fairly is okay in order to please others or in order to fit in. And we become subservient. And there's so many different types of abuse and being used or treated unfairly. I mean, it can be very subtle and it can be conscious, unconscious. So many levels to it. And it's not to put blame somewhere, it's just to see where this is happening and how I can claim my power back in that. Also, keep acting small when all is aligning to step into our splendor. This is something, when we're about to do something big, we tend to just retract back again and make ourselves small instead of really stepping into that bigger stage and owning it, our divinity and our full expression of the divine. Also, not moving forward or taking actions because of fear. So it's really sitting with this fear and questioning it. Is it really a fear? Is it something that I'm just telling myself? It's an old story that's coming up. It's maybe another part of myself, the inner child who was told that. So it's really like sitting with that and questioning it. I find questioning really helps. And then merging our energy to fit in. That we can also, and there is such a thing energetically of merging with others and how we can reclaim back that energy. So I'll be doing that in the meditation, give you a practice of that too. And then not tending, nurturing, feeding or loving ourselves. We want to be making sure and that is also a way of giving our power away, because if we're in a place of we'll feel empowered when we are taking the self-care eating the nourishing, high vibrational foods, stop beating ourselves up and being self-critical, and not being with all the feels, the avoidance and that. That's something I'm really being with right now, going through a huge transformation in my personal life, is just being with all the feels. Whatever is coming up for me, being with that. If I need to cry, scream, laugh, shake, whatever that is, doing that in that moment to release it, instead of like, oh no, I can't lose it right now, I can't cry right now, just to allow space for that. And then just a reminder that people in their power are not violent, aggressive, nor controlling. So forcing power is a sign of powerlessness and insecurity. So just a question of how are you standing in your power, and also who's in your field or around you and how are they standing in their power, and mirroring or reflecting or triggering or interacting with how you stand in your power. So this is Sekhmet. She is the lion goddess, and she's also, her energy is also very one of reclamation of your power. And she's the fierce, compassionate goddess, and really calling you out on all the ways you've abandoned and betrayed yourself in not standing in your truth, in your power. So that's why I chose that photo. I've worked a lot with her, and she's really helped me, or her teachings, her energy is really helping with that. So just become, you can dim your lights again. I know sometimes the bowls pick up in a different way. So just feel into these prompts that you just received, these reminders of ways that perhaps we give our power away. And also as the crone within ourselves, regardless of our age, but how we can own what we've learned in the years that we've accumulated. Just own that experience, what we've learned. And also give some respect to elders and teachers in our lives that is passing on wisdom and what they've experienced and what they've grown and lived through. Maybe reflect a little bit on how you are doing your own self-care. Maybe where you can step that up a little bit. Now you could connect to that vast sky, or Nut. In a lot of traditions we look at the sky as the father. In ancient Egyptian times it's actually the other way around. It's Father Geb, which is the earth god, and then Nut, which is the sky goddess. But here we can also just look up at Sothis, Sirius, and the constellations, and just feel into that expansion and vastness. gonna just go with the sun's energy. Solar energy that's coming in its fullest now with the solstice. Also how we birthing and stepping into our full power and reclaiming and owning our power and our wisdom. So just feel this fill up in your field, what you can imagine as a sun raw above you, and just that gold liquid energy, that warm energy flowing into your body, filling your body up with gold. And it's also a way of claiming back aspects of yourself, your energy that you've left somewhere with a situation, a person, or with something. Just see those fragments of yourself and call it back to yourself in your energetic body so that you can feel full and whole and empowered and in your full vibration, your full energy, vital. Now we just want to open that crown chakra, the singing pyramid. So that we can receive all these insights from the divine and be able to share it with our community and the world. So just let that all filter in and integrate. And go out as often as you can and just look at the night sky. And connect also with the playfulness of the stars. And the sky that's changing, the moon cycles that's ever changing. And how we are constantly changing. Owning every stage, every change. Owning our part that we played in it. And like Carol said, come from a place of gratitude. Doing our gratitude practice daily and sending love. Every couple of weeks we have this love circle in Bermuda, and we always send out love. We start by sending it out to ourselves first and then to everyone in our family, even people that we may not be getting on with right now, just sending them love. Because we are all divine. So just own that. So send that love to yourself now. You can just put your hand on your heart and breathe into your heart and breathe into this space, into this circle, into the sister next to you. And just hold some gratitude for those that have come before you, those that's coming after you, and this journey that you're on. And so it is. Ashe, Aho. So just come back to this space and this place. And breathe into this space again. And then I will continue with the slides, and then I'll stop sharing, and then we can open up the space for questions and comments. Stretch if you need to, take some water. So yeah, some exciting times ahead of us. So this Birth Your Power was a theme that dropped in for me just as I came back from my last pilgrimage, and there's a beautiful sun alignment that's happening in November at Dendera, Hathor's temple. This is Hathor, the goddess of beauty and love and fertility, and she's also depicted as a cow. And it's the Mamisi, the birth house, that gets lit up by this sun alignment. So I'm just going to play, this is a couple minutes, we're going to run a few minutes over, and then this is just from Hathor's temple, just so that, and then once that's seen this before, this is just a great way of attuning to that again.